Hey, what's up guys? So, as promised, here it is. We are doing some Togles games from the ladder, starting off today with a TVP on Metropolis. Togles is playing under one of his aliases, which is the First Law, and he is playing against a Korean A-rank Protoss with the alias #1 Sujin. So, I've heard a lot about this guy. I've only done one of his games thus far, which is him versus Snow, which was actually a pretty fun game to watch. I have no idea how that game has performed because I'm recording this series before that comes out, but I figured let's give Togles games a full go by doing at least 5 of them and seeing how we do. And based on your reactions, at the end of the day, I'm going entirely on the feedback from the videos. So if you want to see Togles games, please do interact with the videos. It really does help me understand what it is that people want to watch and what it is that people don't want to watch. I've added a little number to the bottom right of the screen. That is the sub count that I have at the time of editing. So I'm trying to get that number to 1,000 by the end of the year. If you do enjoy the games that I am putting out onto the channel and you haven't yet subscribed, please do help me achieve my goal. I will appreciate it very, very much. We are now just going to focus on the action. That is the last of my plugs, preachers, and everything in between. So we have a Nexus first. Togles seems to be opening standard with the gas. He's probably going to do a Vulture expand. And let's just see what adjustments, if any, he makes once he scouts the Nexus first, which looks like he's going to do last. Little bit unfortunate when this happens, but at the end of the day, it is just about probabilities, isn't it? So you've got a 1 in 3 chance of scouting last every time. So we'll have to keep an eye on his pattern. It does look like he's doing the... not the N scout, it's the, what do they call that? The Z? It's kind of the Z scout pattern. So what type of Nexus first are we doing? We're making our gateway, gas, core. No, one safety zealot is coming out. Excuse me, I was about to say no safety zealot, but here it is. Should be transferring about 4 probes to the natural. And this has started out really deliciously for our Protoss, Mr. #1 Sujin, because he would have seen nobody's arrived at my base at 3 minutes 20. He's going to think he's got away with it. Second gateway is on the way. Has only made the 1 zealot, and here the news will greet Togles. I'm up against the Nexus first. Okay. So we kept our original colors. I think tracking the white here is pretty easy on the minimap. The blue looks good. So Togles is expanding. His Vulture's on the way. So he is behind. Let's see what adjustments he makes. What's going on over here? So we've made a Nexus first. And we've got a really strong economic lead. And it looks like we have the audacity to hide our Citadel. Now, the Cybernetics core is not spinning. Togles has picked off 2 probes there very nicely. Cybernetics core is not spinning. There is no SCV though in the base. The scouting SCV has left the building. Hahaha. But he's discovered it anyway, has old Togles. He's got a nose for the cheese. So this is gonna fall flat. Oh my god, what a game this is turning out to be. I just thought it was gonna be like a plain sort of macro game. Everything was gonna be normal. Surely once this is discovered, you cancel. Just let it build. I honestly don't know why. Sending up a couple of goons, or a single goon. It's just started to upgrade range now. And I think he's going to counter here. But 2 vultures should be able to handle this dragoon. And they will fare even better against the zealot. That marine sadly does die. The vulture goes down. But he's pulling some workers. And oh my god, that mine. Oh. Friendly fire on that was brutal. The unpowered Citadel is just chilling there. Laying a few mines. Hopefully now we can catch our breath. The game is normalized. Templar Archives is on the way. So he has used the fact that the Citadel exists to just straight go through his tech tree. So the only reason he would need to rebuild his Citadel at a later point is when he wants to get Zealot legs. But for now, Togles is controlling the map with mines, and we'll have that sort of control until observers come out, which shouldn't be... Actually, it will be a while, because we've gone for Templar Archives. Also, the audacity to... Jesus Christ. The audacity of this Protoss is just out of this world, man. Like, what are you doing, bro? Yeah, I had a great start. I got a Nexus first off the ground, then I tried to hide my Templar Archives. That didn't work, so then I tried to do a 5-minute 30-second expansion. That didn't work, so now I'm going to try and walk across the DT's map without observers and see how that works out. So that just seems to be the plan here. I don't know how you're going to clean this up. I do now. It's the DT. Whoop up. Whoop up. Whoop up. Whoop up. Whoop up. Okay, well, tidies that up pretty well. Oh, even whoop up's the mine. I was lucky. Obviously, it hadn't yet fully immersed itself. Looks like he's going to get this Nexus up. Whoop up. 7 kills to this hero Cape Boy. He ain't going to get very far, though, if he moves any further with him. So where do we go from here is the question. Robo on the way. And what is Togles up to? He is getting the 4 factories going. Academy, probably for scanning. Whoop up. 8 kills to our DT. I think he's just chilling him here for now. Bob the Zealot going for a walk. Probably just to eat some mines, I reckon. So eats 1. Eats 2, eats 3, eats 2. Okay, so kind of confirmation of the mine trail. Oof. Chowing mines here. So Togles has got 5 accounts, give or take, on the ladder, possibly 1 fewer. He had a handful. There's probably 4 or 5. All of them were A rank, with the exception of 1, which is quite normal. I think everybody uses an account for off racing and messing around, so he's definitely a solid A-rank Terran. And yeah, I mean, so far the games of his I've done have been pretty fun. They're not just boring sort of textbook macro games. There always seems to be some kind of shenanigans, and he's not always the culprit. In fact, thus far he has not been a culprit in any way. He's just been the one copying all the cheesy shenanigans. Okay, so we've transferred some workers. Our hero DT is commanding the front door here. I think he might eat his death here now. Oh my god, this man. He is living on a prayer of some kind. Observers are in the game. A couple of Stargates coming out as well here. I think this guy's going to go carrier. Yeah, he's just got a couple of idle workers. And Togles deciding, well, I'm going to pressure the space. And that hero DT has finally met his end. Some vultures here getting some penetration. Reinforcing dragoons, though, I think are going to make light work here, although they're just standing here watching for some reason. So got himself plenty of probe kills. So I think a worthwhile trade. I don't know if sending in additional vultures here was the right call, but that's what he's done. And so it is tidied up. Sieging up there on the front door, making some turrets. Just want to check what... Oh, just picking up some dragoons here for absolutely free. Obviously, this was very clever. It took me a minute to process what he was doing here. By putting the SCV there, he gave sight to his tanks. And his tanks just blew the heads off of about 4 dragoons there. That was really, really good. And now, has the audacity to make, I'm assuming, a turret here. Going to give him even more visibility, and has basically ceased all mining at this very critical third base, because to make this carrier strategy viable, our Protoss is going to need some money. Some mulala. Okay, so we hit a little bit of a lull patch. We've unsieged our tanks. He's now expanding to a new location. This is a really ill-advised location anyway, because it's so close to the Terran. So it makes sense that he's looking to expand here and potentially sneak one here as well. But it looks like Togles is mobilizing. He's got about 7 or 8 tanks, a group of little SCVs that he may build some turrets behind. And it looks like he wants to try and camp in the natural. Our Protoss doesn't really have much left in terms of ground army, because he's been spending all of his money on carriers. And the carriers are going to show themselves very soon. And we're now going to move into a very, very interesting phase in this match. Tanks are coming in. And the carriers do finally show themselves. I don't think Togles knew about the carriers at all, because he's making his very first Goliath now. As you can see, he has come a couple, so perhaps he did scan it, but he's got 2 on the way, and he's making 3. So I think trying to use the tanks while he has them. The Protoss here has got very little by way of money, so Goliaths should be able to do okay against what is in essence 3 carriers, at least killing interceptors. We're trying to get body shots on the carriers as much as possible, which is good, but only 2 Goliaths. He's got to be careful not to get those Goliaths picked off by these Dragoons that are just sort of chilling here. A couple more Goliaths are arriving, and a few more streaming down constantly. This is going to come down to money. He cannot really transfer any workers, so he's going to have to make probes here, but he's spending all of his money on interceptors. Togles, as a backup to just sending down Goliaths, has got himself up to about 5 turrets here, which will really help just erode the income of the Protoss by killing interceptors all the time. So I think this is actually working really nicely, making a 5th, 6th turret here. So there's 2 SCVs working here in amongst all this noise. We hear it, a carrier dying. So this camp sort of fire option to keep the Protoss snugly tucked into his own base while the carriers, while the siege tanks are still doing some damage to the main, is working really well. Remember, there's no income here. He's just sending an SCV to confirm, yes, there's a Nexus, but there's no money. So he knows precisely where the money of the Protoss is and isn't. And this is potentially just building up to one final big battle. Meanwhile, Togles himself has got 3 running bases, so no income dramas on his side. He can just comfortably keep reinforcing, comfortably keep making turrets, comfortably keep his upgrades going, and sending down Goliath. So I think this is going to be a very, very fun game and a very, very good hold. So this is our first game of Togles where he's not playing a pro, because the only other game of his I've seen was against Snow, as I mentioned before. It pretty much had it all, but showed some amazing composure, reacted really well to what he scouted. This Protoss player has a very audacious way about him, but there's nothing unusual about that. That just seems to be a ladder Protoss philosophy, and Togles has absolutely wrecked this fool. So that's really, really good. I'm doing a little TVP showcase of Togles today, so I've got a couple more games of his that I'll bring to you in this video, and I'll be firing up one again right now. Alright, this time we're on Fighting Spirit, and I have not chosen replays any other way than randomly, if that makes sense. I did check that none of them were corrupt. And then that was pretty much it, and then I've just chosen to put them in orders based on the length, so that the videos can be of a certain length. But I don't know too much about these games. I'm kind of just watching them and see what happens. So here we go. We've got old school toss spawning here in the top right, purple Protoss, and our feature player of today, of course, is Togles, playing under this account, the First Law. So, oh my god, Fighting Spirit, hey? I mean, if you're any kind of fan of Broodwar, I can almost guarantee you that you have played games on this map. I myself have played very many. I'm sure there are some people that have literally played thousands of games on this map. And it's not a great map in terms of the mining, in terms of quite a lot of things, but it has stood the test of time. This, by the way, is not a 12 Nexus showcase. It's kind of just dawned on me that he's going to be facing a 12 Nexus again. So let's see what happens this time. He didn't respond to the 12 Nexus in any particularly aggressive way in the previous game, but then again, I don't want to draw too many conclusions from that because he scouted the hidden citadel, because it was so audacious to do a 12 Nex into DT rush. Like, who does that? It's just, they're freaking bizarre. Anyway, we are scouting, and looks like we are going to scout the close position again. So Togles did do this in the previous game as well. So here, we're going to do a first scout of a 12 Nexus. So let's see how, if anything, that changes the response. So sees it, sees the timing, knows this is definitely a Nexus first, sends in his SCV, and now we wait. What is he gonna do? Makes his factory. He's not pulling here. He's not pulling his SCVs off gas. So this tells me he's going to do some kind of push response to this. Sending a Marine out as well. 5 minutes go on the way, second gateway on the way, first zealot coming down the ramp. This Marine, he's like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna go home now. I've seen enough. Maybe he'll be joined by his Marine brothers, who knows. A couple of vultures on the way. Still banking up heaps of gas here. Like, I hope it's to make a machine shop or something? I don't know. Nope, he's just pulling the boys. So Mr. Protoss knows exactly what's happening. I think he's trying to draw him away. Not working, however. These units have just disappeared into a corner, into the abyss. So our SCVs have arrived all alone with no friends. Shield battery is here. And yeah, this has not gone according to plan. I think almost everything that can go wrong has gone wrong. Units went off, the pathing was wonky. Please don't tell me he's going to use, and he loses his Vulture to a Zealot. Now here he comes in, he's got his shield battery, he's pulling workers, he's got a Dragoon in here, probes are fighting SCVs, a couple of goons out in the field, shield battery doing its thing. I mean, he does have a decent number of Marines here though. So could potentially still knock this down. Does have the bunker. Sending more vultures. He's got 580 unspent gas. Like, I've got to think that optimizing for minerals here, if he was just going to go with Marines and vultures to break this down, could surely have been a better option. I think he's still probably going to get it right. Ranger's about to kick in though, so let's see how we go. Another, now he's only getting his machine shops. He's never got mines, he never got speed, he never got anything. He can't make a tank. So Protoss does lose his Nexus, but Togles is still very behind on workers. Doesn't have a base of his own, so I think Protoss sensing here that he's not really got much by way of threats. There's no mines is just being researched now. Runs away. Mines still not ready. Could lay mines on the retreat here. It's literally a matter of seconds. Yep, there we go. No. Thought they were doing it. Thought they were doing it. Still not ready. Tank is now on the way. Once again, the tank went some weird pathing. So he's going to pick off one vulture. Pick off two vultures. Only 2 mines have been laid here. Oh dear. This has not gone well for our Togles, unfortunately. And he's just leaves the game. Oh, that did not go well, unfortunately. I think it's just one of those games where everything that can go wrong did go wrong. But don't worry, he had another game. Also in Fighting Spirit, also against the naughty Protoss. So let's see if he can get a different result this time. Okay, so as mentioned, we are still on Fighting Spirit. This time he runs into a Protoss with the alias Tin Pan. And he is playing purple. And Togles is in red. And it looks like he is going to be cheesing. Wow, so Togles really does run into some interesting stuff on the ladder. We've done 3 TVPs and we have received such a mixed bag of strategies. So 2 12 Nexuses, followed by center gateways. I mean, you never ever quite know what to expect. But yeah, it'll be good to see how he responds to this one. Didn't react well in the previous game. Like, I think everything that could go wrong did go wrong. So we have 1 win in the first game where I think he responded to everything he scouted brilliantly and he held the carriers really, really well. Second game, scouted the Nexus first and just everything pretty much from then didn't go to plan. And third game, he's going to be receiving some Zealot pressure. It's not the 1-gate version. So I've learned recently from some cheese, a cheese compilation cast that I did very recently, that there's a build that would be considered a non-cheese. It's perhaps a rush, but not an all-in. There's definitely a clear transition out of it that Protosses have been working on, which is where they make 1 gateway, and then they relentlessly make units from this gateway. But behind that, they get gas, they get core, they keep making workers. And then they actually transition into a normal game. So there's a way out of it. It isn't an all-in. I think the 2-gate version, though, is pretty much an all-in. So let's wait and see. Togles is not scouting the middle. You are taught when you play on Fighting Spirit, when you're a beginner, and also when you're starting to play on ladder for the very first time, to check the middle of the map in Fighting Spirit specifically, because this is so common. But hasn't done this. It's not going to matter much though, because he's going to arrive here and go, you don't have any stuff, so I now know exactly what you're doing. So tries to target down the probe. It's getting his factory, and it's going to now just be about microing in these little spots here for sure. First Zealot is on the way, and we will keep an eye on how this engagement goes. This first probe, or the probe that comes with the Zealot, can actually be a very big difference maker in how the fights go. So we'll keep the health bars on both of these and see how we go. Alright, so in we come. It's a nice little clumping of buildings here. Also building another depot here, so making it a little bit difficult to get on top of these Marines. Does sadly lose the SCV that was making the factory. The factory, though, was pretty much almost done. He's going to lose his second SCV here now, so this Protoss is getting some good results. One Zealot is a little yellow. The other one is still perfectly healthy. The Vulture, though, is going to be the big difference maker, and he has SCV's body blocking for the Marines. He is trying to micro these as best as we can. Possibly going to be able to get between the buildings. Now it's just a case of microing this Vulture and protecting him. A 2 and 3, a second and a third, a 2 and 3. The second and the third Zealot have shown up. And we're going to try and get the health bars of all 3 Zealots here. Shift! Shift is the damn number. Where's the third Zealot gone? I think he died. Zealot number 4 and 5, or however you want to number them, is on the way. So 2 more Zealots are here. Another Vulture coming out though, and I think it's pretty much GG. Just not enough damage here. So spending his APM on the Vultures as opposed to the Marine, I think that's a fair call. Does kill that vulture. Sending an SCV across the map to see what, if any, transition he's making. He's just basically made a forge behind this. Getting his machine shop up. And that's going to be that. That's a simple... GG, you noob. I agree. That was very, very fun. Alright guys, I'm doing a few different showcases. So I have another TVP showcase of Togles, which is a collection of games. I then also have 2 TVZ collections that I want to bring you. So I'm planning to bring 4 Togles videos for the month of February. Please do interact, leave some comment, leave some feedback. I'd love to know if you're enjoying these compilations. I'd love to know if you would prefer some longer macro games. I'd love to know if you are happy with a mix. So sometimes it's these compilations, sometimes it's the longer ones, you know, just keep me guessing kind of thing. But any and all feedback is much appreciated. I'm Rabbit Roo. I'm here 4 times a week. As mentioned earlier, please do help me get to my sub goal for the year. I would really, really appreciate it. And until next time, I'll see you soon. Take it easy, man.